Hello, hello, hello. I hope you can hear me and I hope you can see me. I must say today I'm really risking this because I'm not sure if the connection will actually work. Let me know if you can see me. Let me know if you can hear me. Show me thumbs up. Let me just check. Right, okay, I can see on Facebook that actually we are live. The reason I'm saying I'm risking today because lately, as you could see, I was not doing these lives from my office simply because I had massive issues with my internet. But today is not about that. Today actually is about the value which I want to give you, and especially for those people who are speakers, who are trainers, who are in a world of delivering messages to people, right? So if you have to travel around, and I know right now we don't travel, I know right now we actually are delivering messages from our comfort of our living room or maybe our home offices, or like I was doing something from this office, sometimes from my home office. But I do know that we're gonna go one day back to that normal, if you want to call it normal, or we're gonna go forward, the way how I prefer to say, to the new reality, right? And I call it the new matrix because we used to have the old matrix and now we're gonna have the new matrix. And if you are in a speaking world, you do know, or if you want to be in a speaking world, you do know that one day you will have to think about how to look more professional and also how to make sure that you actually have everything what is essential for your presentations, for your professional work. Let me just see where you're joining me from. Oh, I love seeing how international we are today. Yay, that's exciting. So we have people from India and Dubai and from Iran as well. I love seeing how many people we have. Let me just see who we have on Facebook. We are live on Facebook. Amazing. Oh, hi, Howard. Thank you so much for saying hello. Right, so are you ready to learn what is in my secret speaker's bag? The reason why I call it secret, because very often people see me with this black bag, which is quite big, and I must say, it is also quite heavy. So let me just lift it to show it for you full size, right? It is quite big, and I must say, this is the bag which literally saved me, not live really, obviously, but literally saved me my career and also helped so many event organizers and events on so many occasions. And the reason why it helped me and also organize events, because sometimes there were cases when I would receive a phone call in the morning when I clearly remember this situation. It was 7:35 a.m. I received a phone call from an event organizer. And at that event, I was supposed to be as a participant because I was delivering the event previous year. And the agreement was this year I'll be more as a participant and more helping in a room with doing the sessions during the day, right? Rather delivering this speech on the stage. We decided to swap the next year. And I received a phone call at 7:35. And what do you think I think to myself? I know. If a booker is calling you that early, that means there's a problem. Possibly something happened. And that was the exact situation. One speaker dropped out lastminute.com. Tip, never do that, right? My rule is dead or alive, preferably alive, show up and do the job, deliver, right? Whatever happens, make sure you can be on time, if not earlier, okay? Because things happen. You might have to prepare, you might have to make some changes. So be on time, arrive early, so your person who booked you is actually not worried about you. And also, I must say, another little tip is, when you're on the way, just let know the manager whom you were dealing with, or maybe the event organizer, maybe the booker, that actually you are on the way, right? And your it is X, Y, Z, and you're going to be surely there, right? Because if you don't do that, then most likely people will be worried, and the person who booked you possibly will be sitting there biting their fingernails thinking, is she really on the way? Is he really on the way, right? So it's important to remember, make sure you stay in touch with people who booked you to speak, to deliver a message, to deliver a workshop, deliver a training, whatever it is. Make sure you stay in touch with them. You come on time early if you can. And I always say, if you make it a priority, you will always arrive early. Okay, I will not talk too much about now hows and what's because I'll do another video on that only. Today is about this secret bag. I can see lots of comments here on LinkedIn. That's wonderful. Paul joined me from UK Wales, which is amazing. Priyanka joined me from India. And Angeline says, hey, good to hear you after 6 start. Wonderful. And Maria, thank you so much for joining me today. She's on YouTube. Hello, Olga and Howard. Good to see you guys. Thank you so much for joining. So here it is, the secret speaker's bag. The reason why it is secret, because usually it is always with me in the car. And people always wonder what that bag is all about. And I always say that's a secret, right? Well, I don't want people to know all details, right? Not everybody should know everything. But today I'm sharing with you what actually is in this bag. And I would like to start with the front department, which is here, which I would say probably is the most important department. Not only here I have a form for people to put their details if you deliver a workshop, which is just behind this orange form, where people can put details, their full name, phone number, email address, and a signature, and also tick for GDPR, giving me consent to send them the slides or to send them information if the booker will not deal with that later on, right? Because very often your event organizer, they will do it, but if I do it myself, then I always have them with me blank, just to give it away. And also sometimes they might forget about that, right? So you should remember to capture details so you can stay in touch with the audience, especially if they were during your workshop, right? You want to find out, was it helpful, was it not? Plus, that's another way how to get people details to stay in touch with them so you can make them your clients one day. Right, that's important to remember. Oh, I can see somebody just joined me from Chicago. Hi, Greta, good to see you all the way from Chicago. Welcome to my show. And this orange slip, which you can see here, the reason why it's so bright, because this is my checklist. That's why I say this is the most important part of my bag, because here it says everything what I need. And I have 3 columns here. It says technology, it says various, and it says overseas traveling, right? Because when I travel overseas, I want to make sure I have my passport, my visa if I need one, my tickets and boarding pass. And it's just much easier when you just go through the list. The same with technology, I need to make sure I have everything. And the same with the various stuff, I also need to make sure I have stuff. Right? So before I go away from the event, I always take my checklist and I go through that and I make sure I packed everything. Because amount of times I heard horror stories of people leaving their laptops at events. A laptop here is the number one. Right? Or chargers, laptop charger. Right? And also, actually, I have a little tip, which I'm going to show you in a minute, right? Amount of stories I heard from other speakers, and they're really dreadful, right? You don't want to drive back for 5 hours to fetch your laptop. But I did drive back myself as well. That was more for camera, that was more for my tripods, and things like that, right? Or sometimes even tripod on the camera on the tripod itself, right? So you don't want to drive that far or to fly back or, arrange with people posting that to you, because that's another hassle. Make it easy for people to work with you by having your own checklist, which actually you can double check with yourself before you leave any venue. And I always carry with me just blank A4 sheets just in case if there is no paper for participants to write on, if you will need to make some notes or anything else. Why the white? Because it's just easier, simple as that, right? Let's go to the bigger department. We just started. I'll do my best to make this video short actually, but we just started. And I'll start with one important thing, which is important not only for ladies, but also for men, right? I carry a good pair of shoes in my bag, right? The reason why I do that, because first of all, this is stilettos and I wouldn't want to wear them all day long, or for God forbid to run around, for example, like when I travel to London, I don't really want to be on a train in my really high heels and then run through the city and then to be on a tube and everything else. So it's actually very easy when you have your shoes which you're going to perform in the bag. At least this is what I found, it's easy. And I will wear just another pair of shoes and I will just change later on. For example, especially when you travel on the plane, right? You don't really want to be on a plane on high heels. I mean, I never did that. Would you want to do that? I don't think so, right? Second thing is a little thing, makeup bag. I know some men will think, well, Olga, makeup bag doesn't really speak to me. And I would say wrong, because here there's some stuff which you really need, even if you're a man. And I would say two things out of the entire makeup bag is cream pack and a brush, right? To avoid your face to be very shiny, right? Because when you perform, you don't want to sweat, but you will, right? And as you sweat, you will see the shine on your face. And the worst thing what you can have is looking so nervous because you're sweating. Everybody does, I do as well. And just before the show, I always put a little bit of powder on my face because it just removes all the shine away. Of course, you will have reflection because there is a lighting. Like right now, I have this big light shining at me. So you will have light, but you will not have this sweat, right? Which will indicate that you are stressed to other people. However, it's just because it's too hot, lamps are shining at you, and you're moving around the stage and you're jumping up and down. So to avoid that, just keep and a brush will do the job. So that's not only all what men can use. For example, I have here, it's called concealer, right? Any spots, anything on your face, we do not want to be seen on the camera or to the audience. You can always use that. Can be used by men as well. Hand cream, right? You don't have to use the same brand which I use, by the way. I'm not getting paid to showcase these, right? It's just I'm sharing what I have. It's important because especially if you're delivering something and you're going to do handouts or anything else, you don't want to give stuff to people with really dry and awful hands, right? And I would say manicured hands as well, right? Make sure you do have a nice manicure, women and men, right? Because nails, they reveal quite a lot of self-care as well. Of course, lipstick and of course mascara is my must, and a little brush and a pen. You'll be wondering, why do I have a pen in my makeup bag? Trust me, one day you'll find out why. Because they don't have it in the audience, for example, or because somebody needs. But I wouldn't put the best pen in this makeup bag simply because it always gets a bit mucky and you don't want that, right? So this, I would say, are the main things which you will need from a makeup bag, but also have a little helper, which is a cloth. You'll think, why would you carry a cloth with you? This cloth is actually for cleaning the camera on the maybe mobile phone or maybe your laptop, right? And okay, right now my camera is already clean, but sometimes you see some videos and they're quite smudgy and you always wonder why the image is not clear, and you wipe your phone. But the truth is, there's nothing wrong with your phone. It's actually their phone, right? It's actually their laptop, or should I say the camera. It's a bit smudgy, and if you just clean that, then it stays clean, right? Again, you don't have to use it all the time, but when I record those workshops, I always make sure I put my phone on my camera, on the tripod, wipe the lens, and then I know the image is clear, right? Of course, at the events, they will be filmed by other people, but sometimes you want to film just for yourself as well, and in that case, it can be quite helpful, or also during this live. I don't have a camera crew here, it's me, so before I went live, I made sure I wiped that lens. So next thing is, if you do workshops, maybe not that much during your speaking engagements, but a little ring bell, right? It really helps you to control the timing with the audience when you give them time, and if you just make this sound, then the noise comes out, and obviously they know it's time to finish off. Again, usually in a larger audience, especially if you have somebody looking after the music and taking care of that part, they will play subtle music during the exercises, during the task which you give them. And then by making the music quieter, that will be signaling that actually it's time to move on, to get back to speaker and start listening again, because your time is like finished. But at the same time, having that sometimes helps just to select bingo and make a noise, right? So that could be quite helpful. Next thing which I have, which you should always have, is a fresh bottle of water, right? Again, it doesn't matter what brand, as long as it's fresh. And I always take with me water which is not fizzy, simply because you don't want to stand all bloated as you deliver a message, because that will feel just not comfortable. So I prefer just a still water, and it always helps, because sometimes in lastminute.com you have to rush to the stage and then you forget to get the glass of water. But if you have it in your bag, it's always there, right? And then next thing, which I probably would say one of the things which definitely saved not only my life, but also lives of so many other speakers. It is extension lead with a really, really long cable. Probably you're wondering why. You'll be surprised how many venues don't have enough of these. They just simply don't, right? When I go overseas, I always take other adapters to make sure I don't run around like headless chicken in an airport buying them again, because we all have multiple adapters from many countries. So when I go overseas, it is in my checklist. I always put the adapter which I need. It also has my laptop charger already here, and not the phone, because I had to take the phone to swap here, but usually it also has my phone adapter here with the cable as well, which is used right now by me. Right. Aksan, yes, I love that. Drinking water is far the most important thing. I agree with you. Definitely agree with you, yes. Because without water, we get thirsty, and then our voice is going off, and then we dehydrate. And what happens to me, for example, I have tinnitus, so if I don't drink enough water, then I get also dizzy. And the last thing what I want is fall off the stage. So water really helps to keep the blood pressure being at a healthy level, and it doesn't really allow you to dehydrate if you drink plenty of water. Farul says, hi Olga, I'm here listening to you. I like to talk with you, dear, on the WhatsApp. Farul, if you have any questions, you're welcome to WhatsApp me. My number is on LinkedIn. I'm more than happy to mentor, to coach you as I do with other people. So please get in touch with me. But it will be really good if you guys, when you get in touch with me, if you could already send me the message what it's all about. It just will save you time, and also will save me time. Because very often people send me something like, hi Olga, and it's like, well, okay, right, what's next? I have very limited amount of time to just chit chat. So if you just could be very clear what exactly you want me to help you with, I'm more than happy to help you with, right? So let's just respect each other's time. So be more specific what you need the help with. Couple of more tripods. This is a little tripod which you can put on a desk. It has flexible legs, and actually I have 3 of those. One is in my hiking bag, one is in my car, just in a glove box, and one is in my speaker's bag, simply because sometimes you need to use them because they have flexible legs. Especially when I was traveling, it was really handy just to put on the steering wheel and talk through the camera without holding the phone, which is always helpful, right? So that is a really handy thing. Next thing is my business cards and pens. I'm not sure how about you guys. Do you have your branded stuff or you don't? But if you do, please make sure you carry them with you. But not only carry them with you, but also use a little stand where actually you can put them into, and that will look a lot more professional, right? As you can see now. It always looks more professional when it is on a little stand rather laying around the table. Of course, sometimes you can put them on the table as well, but that looks a lot more professional than if that would be just lying around. And also that makes sense, because if people will need your details, you can always hand a business card. Not like they're really useful right now, isn't it? When during the lockdown. Probably this is the most useless thing any person has right now because of the lockdown situation, and we don't meet people. And what I personally have, when I deliver my workshops and trainings, I make sure people stay accountable, not only to me by giving the details, and I will catch up with them within the promised time, but also to stay accountable to each other. So what I have is this little accountability card, which says, and I'll show it very close, which says, my action plan is. So basically here, people usually put details of what they're going to work on. right? It's all about the actions they're going to take. They should put 3 of them, and this says my accountability partner is, they should put each other details, contact details, and to contact each other on, right? That makes sure that actually they contact each other, because accountability is the key to any progress. Right? Why coaching is so powerful? Because when I work with you, I'm accountable to you. You come back to the next session here, to my office or my Zoom session, and I'm asking you questions. Have you done this? Have you done that? X, Y, Z. What have you accomplished? And you do more, because I'm going to be asking you. But the same if you just have somebody like a participant from the same workshop or from the same training. And on the other side, it actually says my reward and my punishment. Amount of times people giggled when I was saying my punishment is ridiculous, honestly, especially men. For some reason, they think it's something naughty. No, it's not. No, it's not at all. It's actually a punishment which you will set up for yourself. It could be you will have to, let's say, wash dishes by your hands, or maybe it will be like you'll have to do something else, things, chores which you don't like doing, in order for you to push yourself to do the tasks which you agree to do with your accountability partner. And the reward is really powerful, because as you remember at school, you would go back to school with completed homework and your teacher would say, oh, well done, and you would get a star. And you would feel like a winner. You would feel so amazing because you got rewarded, right? But the same with punishment. When you will get a bad mark, or you would receive a little note to pass on to your parents, you would feel quite sad, and you wouldn't like it. So the same here, right? You're not going to like doing that punishment, whichever you set up for yourself. So of course, subconsciously, you will do your best to perform that action plan. Next thing, my pens. Again, I have them branded because I wanted to. That was just my thing. And in this box, there's a lot more of business cards and accountability cards, which are just sitting there waiting for the day when I'll be back with my workshops face to face rather on a Zoom. That'll be exciting time, I must say. I'm looking forward to it. The next thing, I'm not sure if you saw this before. It's another tool to make videos, and it helps you to stabilize, to make your video stabilized, whatever it is. I can never say that word for some reason. Well, again, bear in mind, English language is my 4th language, okay? So I'm sure you can excuse me on not being able to pronounce that particular word, okay? But you get more stability when you make videos with this little tool, because it really makes it more smooth. So even when you jump, it's a lot smoother. When you walk, it moves actually around with you nicer. And of course, after a while, you can master the way how you walk quite elegantly, and you can take the video. But actually, this helps a lot. You can charge it quite easily from any USB port with a cable, and it really helped me so many occasions. Because again, when you walk around with your phone, your arm just gets really tired. But when you use this little tool, it actually helps you to not only hold it in front of you, you have a decent distance, and you have a lot beautiful and smoother videos than if you would just walk up and down, and then it just would move not nicely. Right, so that's the thing. Of course, one really important thing, and I will go to other stuff, but another really important thing is USB, right? I know this USB is quite fancy, let's put it this way. Yes, it is a pen with crystals, but actually it is a USB, right? So any presentations you have to make, what I do, I usually have them on my laptop. I also have them on my USB, just in case. Of course, you have to email them to whoever booked you, so they can put it already in a program. But sometimes it really helps to have it on your stick, just in case. Again, amount of times this USB saved not only my speaker's life, but also other speaker lives, because they wouldn't have it, and then the event organizer or the booker wouldn't receive their presentation, but they would have it on their laptop, but then they couldn't transfer, there would be no Wi-Fi. That thing helps. Talking about Wi-Fi, my Wi-Fi bundle is right there in the corner, and the reason why it's there in the corner, because this is the place where I could catch some signal in this office, right? And the reason why, because the normal internet provider couldn't manage to provide me with really good internet, so I'm using that. And the meantime, right? Shivanan saying, nice to see you, Olga. I like the pen. Is it a gift? Yes, it was actually a gift, and I really cherish that. So I never need to, never must lose it. I always have to have it with me. Next thing, really helpful. I'm not sure what laptop you are using. I'm using MacBook, and my MacBook hasn't got the standard typical USB ports, as you know. So an adapter between projector cable and a laptop, or what I have now is not an adapter to this laptop. So this is adapter to the laptop, right? Because before I used to have the old MacBook, and now it is the other one. But still it fits to another adapter which goes into this one. It really can save you a lot of nerves, because amount of times I would arrive and we couldn't connect my MacBook because I wouldn't have the connection is ridiculous. People still live in the behind world, okay, which we can't blame them, because not everybody is traveling with their MacBooks. I do. I find them, well, light and comfortable, and I prefer MacBook, I must say. So this really helps when you go somewhere and you're not sure whether they're going to have a special cable for your MacBook or not. This adapter fits to any projector cable heads. I don't know what they're called actually then. Probably something different. You'll be surprised how often this was used. Okay, it's a clear tape, and especially when you have to put some cables down or something else, this is helpful. I know it sounds bizarre. Why would I even have it? Have it and then thank me later, right? Because you will definitely be very, very grateful. Spare iPhone charger, just because you never know what's going to happen. And then I also have batteries. But actually these batteries are for a clicker. Honestly, if you're a speaker and you still don't have a clicker, I'm surprised. Because as a speaker, you need to have your own clicker. Because you know it, you know the buttons, you got used to the shape, it doesn't distract you. I know some places they'll prefer for you to use their clicker, and then let's say in 1 case out of 10, that's fine, but I always try with my own clicker, right? Honestly, if you're a professional speaker, if you want to be a professional speaker, get yourself one. But not only get yourself one with a battery in it, get a spare battery. You never know when this battery will run out, okay? And I'm not sure what it's called. I think it's called Targus, whatever it is. But what I love about this particular clicker, that it has a little USB thing which goes into the laptop of the event or your own if you want to, and then you connect with that straight away. It honestly was used not only by me, but also by so many other speakers, and you will not believe it, also by event organizers, because very often they just don't have it as well, which is quite irresponsible, I think. Right? So get yourself your own clicker, practice with that at home, play with that, learn how to go to the next slide, learn how to get the light out, learn how to switch it on, switch it off, because that will be really looking professional, helpful, and extra battery means you will never run out of power. Because imagine that you get a clicker and it doesn't work. That will be like oopsie daisy. And then next thing, talking about microphones. Majority of venues, they give you their own microphone, which is fine by me. But then I prefer to have with me a belt, which is just a rubber belt, which will go under any outfit. And then you can just hide it. Like right now I'm in a skirt, right? You can put it a bit higher here. But what happens, they can click the microphone right at the back. And then you don't have to look for anything else on your garment, right? Very often you see women wearing dress, and then they would fit the microphone right on the top of the dress, and it's a bit bulky, it sticks out like thorn, and you think, what's wrong there, right? Or they put on the lady's bra, and then it looks like, what happened to her, right, when she turned sideways? So I prefer to have it here, and then what I usually do, I'll wear something bulky at the back, so actually it is a bit like hiding it. But obviously I would wear it usually under my clothes or over, depends what I'm wearing. But that is really, really helpful, because the amount of times when people struggle with fitting the microphone somewhere, if it is which you need to put on the clothing, is ridiculous. So this little belt really helped me to look a lot more professional, and also a bit easier about not worrying that what if it's gonna fall off, what if somebody has to go under my dress to put it on my bra. I never feel comfortable about that. So that little tip actually helps. You can get them in different colors, pretty much in any online shop. This belt, gosh, it's with me for years now. I really love that. And next thing, which I think every person who is doing workshops or trainings or anything else must have in their bags, are the whiteboard pens. Or even in the other pocket, I have other pens which are for I forgot what they're called. for the paper ones, right? Because if you don't have yours, most likely you will end up with those which are already faded, they're already old, and they are not usable, and you will not enjoy working with them because they just will be not that efficient. And then what's the point to use something what faded and is not writing properly? So you have your own. In that case, when you leave, you need to make sure you always get them back into your bag. Otherwise, you're going to be losing them and losing them and losing them. And that's why my that secret list of all items which need to go into my bag are always helping me, because I literally go through the items which needs to be back in my bag, and that helps me. So what else I have here is another bag, which is a little secret bag. Okay, it's more or less like makeup bag, but it's more dedicated to having, for example, charcoal. Okay, just in case if I had some meal and maybe I was bloated, I'll have some charcoal. It has some tissues, just in case, you never know, right? It has another hand cream, which is always helpful, but also it has a throat spray, okay, just in case. I always say, if you are prepared, that means you are safe. It also has perfume. I like to make sure I smell nice. And it also has paracetamol, just in case if you have headache or anything else, and also has plaster. So we can call it like a medication bag or something like that. But also it has a little nail polish that, like, Olga, why would you have nail polish? But you know what, amount of situations when you will either chop your nails or something will just happen and it just doesn't look good. Just quickly apply nail polish. And also little top secret for ladies who are wearing tights. When you have a little tiny hole in your tights because there was a nail on the chair or under the table, then if you just apply the nail polish around that area, it's not going to go down your leg or up your leg, right? If it goes up, who cares? It's, it's behind your skirt or dress. But if it goes down your leg, you don't want to be on a stage looking ridiculously with your tights, which don't look presentable. For that occasion, I also wear another pair of tights in my bag, but you don't have to see that. It's enough to know that I have it. And also, ladies, you know very well what else you need to have in your little medicine bag. But I'm not going to mention that because you know that. Shubhanan, thank you so much for this question. What about mask? That is a very good comment. Oh, whiteboard markers. Thank you so much. Yeah, don't know why I lost that phrase. Yes, I must say, what about mask? Yes, I'm sure going to the events in the future, we'll probably need them for some time. But this is the bag which I was using before the lockdown, right? So of course there is no mask, right? Because we never need to have it. And Adil, no, I don't have a knife. No, there's no knife in my bag. But you'll be surprised to see that in this little pocket, I actually have a pair of scissors. Again, if I have a tape, I will have to cut it. I don't want to really bite it with my teeth like some people do. I'm a lady, so I will use scissors. And also what I have in this little pocket is a little badge with my name and my company name, right? Because sometimes you're not giving them and sometimes you just want to use them. So it really helps to actually have those, because then nobody should worry and run around to give them out to you. I also have my prompts, and because sometimes if it is something to do with call to action or inspiration, because I bring my dad's story quite often. I do have my mum and dad in a picture frame in my bag. I love this picture. This is on their wedding day, right? And those who know the story about my dad, you know that he died 2 weeks later after the wedding, which was a big kick to me when I was 24, because this is the age when he died, and that is a reminder to me to progress in life no matter what, to do things in life whichever you want to do, because one day you might not come back home, right? So of course in more detail sometimes I bring this story to the audience, and of course I add more juicy details and I describe it better. But the reason why I have the picture frame, it is quite nice to pass it around and to people to see if it is a small audience, or even just to put there whatever your place is, if it was relevant. Not always it is, right? But sometimes it is. I must say another little thing which I use is a hairspray, right? It helps, ladies. I'm not going to go into many details, but even for guys as well, especially if you have longer hair, you don't really want them to go around like crazy, right? Just a little bit of hairspray really, really helps. I'm just trying to see what else I have in my bag. Another cable, which is for projectors as well. It is always handy to have, because sometimes, again, they just don't have them, and you really want to be sure that you are prepared and you have everything with you. And the very last thing which I would love to share, and it's something very inspirational. Oh, no, actually, before that, there's something else for me to share. So a notepad, just in case for your notes, right? And that will be quite handy. But there's something else which I would like to share with you, which those who know me probably heard about this already. So I remember in 2014, yes, 2014, I went to the MADE Festival. It is Entrepreneur Festival in Sheffield. I still have the booklet here. I went to that festival, and the on a stage there were lots of speakers, and one of the speakers, his name is Jeff Ram. He was on the stage, and he asked a question to the audience. He asked a question. So, who would like to have 20 pounds? And he was just there on the stage holding those 20 pounds. And I stood up and I was like, well, you know what? There is a lesson for something, so I'll go and get it. And I was sitting quite far. So what was really funny, the reaction of people, right? So some people ran to the front of the stage saying like, me. And some people start running from the back. Some people start like walking, and I just start walking. As I walk there, as I go by the guy, he stood up and he started running, and I'm thinking, well, I'm not running. I'm not that desperate, but because there's a lesson, I'll take this action. But I'll be honest with you, I felt so stressed. First of all, I'm not sure if this is a made-up thing, right? Secondly, I'm not sure, do I look desperate? Do I look wrong? I was so much into self-judgment back then, right? I was really working on that at that point. And then this guy, who literally stood up as I was walking beside him, he was already far in front of me. Then he turned around, looked at me, and he walked back to his seat. And here I'm thinking, right, this is very dodgy, okay? What is happening here? I kept walking because I was thinking, well, now I'm not going to turn back, okay? Whatever happens, my rule is always go forward, okay? So I'm going forward. I go onto this stage because I'm looking at these people who are by the stage saying, me, and I'm thinking, you're not going to get that from the bottom of the stage. Clearly, you got to go onto the top of the stage. I got on the top of the stage, came up to him, and I said, well, I'm here, what's next? And he says, so would you like this 20 pounds? And I said, yes. He asked me, okay, what you got to do? Well, the only one step which I had to do is literally just reach out to him and get those 20 pounds. And guess what? Not only I received those £20 and a big, massive round of applause, I still keep those £20. And I still keep those as a reminder that to achieve something in life, you must get your butt off the chair. And it says, Jeff Ram at Met Festival in Sheffield, 25th September 2014. So, I'm due to I did thank Jeff actually many years ago, but if you know Jeff, if you're watching this video, please make sure you send him a message saying, hey, Olga spoke today about you, right? But I must say that this message was so inspirational to me, right? Not only my dad's death, who died suddenly, never got back home, taught me that you have to really move on in life. You have to really do whatever feels right, to say the right things, to the right people whom you want to say those. But you also have to make sure that you always go after your dreams, right? Not only after once, but also after your dreams, right? Honestly, many years ago, I wouldn't even think about having speakers back, and now I have, right? That's simply because it was a dream of mine to go around the world, to inspire so many people, to motivate, to pass on the message, to make sure people hear that and they start living their lives of their dreams, right? So I wouldn't be making this video today for you to get inspired by what I have in my bag. That was just a knowledge passing on to you, right? Because it helped me one day to be at an event where one speaker, he was sharing what was in his bag. And this is where I got my inspiration from. And I thought, well, that makes sense. Everything is in one bag, right? But it's not about the bag. It's about what do you do, right? In my case, that's speaker's bag. But in your case, what do you do? Do you work efficiently? Do you have everything what you need at any point of time? Do you have literally what must be there available for you or your audience or your client, right? Of course, I could show you my tripod with the big lights, which I have here, which also folds quite nicely, goes into the bag. But right now it's standing right here, so I can't show you that. All right. But anyways, you saw the majority of stuff which I have in the bag. Probably a few things I need to add there is actually mask. That would be a good thing. And I can't think of anything else actually what I need. If you have a speaker's bag, please let me know what it looks like and what do you have in there. Because I would love to get inspired and maybe put some more stuff. However, it's already quite heavy. I don't think so I need any more other items, right? But anyways, I hope that was helpful. I know that it already saved not only my speaker's career and my speaker's reputation by having literally everything in that bag, but also saved so many other people's, so many other speakers' careers, right? And oh, by the way, one more thing which I was meant to bring back, but I didn't, was a little speaker. You know, a portable speaker, which is chargeable and then it just can be anywhere. That is really a helpful thing to have, because sometimes there's no speaker in the room, if there's a small room, if you're booked to do a workshop, but then it really helps when you play music on that speaker to your maybe 10, 20, maybe 30 people as they do the exercise, whichever you tell them to do, and then you just pack it with you as well, right? That's the only thing which is right now missing in this bag, but actually it is, well, it was always there, right? So I can see Shanahan says, I prepare my bag very well, which is good. And I must say that my checklist is always very, very helpful, because that means, you know, I can be always organized, exactly as you say. Still, you are very well organized. That's true, yes, because again, as somebody said, failure to prepare is to prepare to fail. Right? So I prefer to have everything at one place, so actually everything is there. Because in that case, it just makes sense. It just makes sense for you to have less stress, to worry less. And let me just finish the story. As I was saying in the beginning, when that lady called me in the morning at 7:25 a.m., she asked me, Olga, I know you were meant to do the little workshops in the room this day, but actually I was let down by a speaker. So I wonder if you could step in and do a talk. Well, I can do that, all right, because I have many topics which I speak on. I don't have just one thing because I'm a mindset coach and I have few topics on business, private life, and also relationship. I could jump in with relevant topic. I just simply asked what approximately that speaker was talking about, and I delivered my talk. But what was amazing, I did not have to run around the house or go back to office to fetch all my items because everything was in my bag, which was always in my car, right? So I just simply walked to my car like I would normally do, sat down and drove to the venue. That's it. Like literally, that's it. So I would definitely suggest you to actually have these items in your bag, whether you're a speaker or trainer, maybe you do something similar, or whatever your profession is. Make sure you do have your items with you. Save your precious time, right? We don't have that much time in our hands. It's only 24 hours, and out of those you have to drive, sleep, and everything else. So every minute you have, you need to be very productive and aware so you can have a nice life and work balance. And if you have something organized like a speaker's bag, that will allow you actually to be even more organized and to have more peace and be more mindful, which is great. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate that. It was awesome to see how international we went today. If you know somebody who actually needs to hear this message, if you know somebody who wants to be a speaker, please send them this video because, as I said, once I got inspired by somebody showing what was in their bag. Unfortunately, it was so long ago, I can't even remember who was that person, which is quite irresponsible, right? But I know that that person actually also had a little portable projector, which I chose not to have, and so far I never needed one, but maybe it's something for you to have. Maria says, add 1 or 2 clips to the small emergency bag. That's a good point, actually. Thank you so much. That's very good point. So, yes, lots of things which actually could be in your bag, whichever profession you do, but make sure when you prepare your bag, you have your checklist because that will actually help not only you, but also other people when they look around. And especially if you can get stickers and you can put your branded stickers onto your items, and people never have to look for those. For example, just like my banner, I have my own banner, but you know, like those pockets on those bags of banners, that pocket is actually for a business card. So in case if your banner is lost, so you can actually, without opening the banner bag, pulling out the banner, find whose banner is that, you can just look into that pocket and give the banner to the relevant person. The same with this speaker's bag, right? The reason why I have also business cards in this bag, if somebody one day, God forbid, finds that bag, it means they can contact me because all details are in the bag, right? And if your branded stickers are on all items, that means whoever is in the room helping maybe to pack or helping to clear everything out, they can actually find you. Well, I'll thank you once more for being with me today here. Thank you so very much. I'm glad that the connection worked out. Hopefully you could hear me really well. Hopefully there was no delays. I hope there were no delays. And if you have any questions, I'm here to help you, support you on your speaker's journey, because I know it can be quite bumpy and it can be quite rocky. Thank you so much once more. Whatever you do today, have a wonderful day. And by the way, on YouTube, there are a lot more of materials about motivation and mindfulness and life and business and relationships. Go to my YouTube channel, subscribe to that, and you will receive notifications when I come back live again. But also there's there are already so many videos on various topics which you can watch, get inspired, get motivated, and share with other people so they can get inspired as well. What can be more beautiful than actually grow together? So thank you so very much for being with me here today. It was a joy having you on board, and whatever you do, stay happy. This is the most important thing. Stay safe